The history of hip hop from JJ.
The history of hip hop with JJ.
The history of hip hop with JJ. Baby, can I have an ice lolly?
Hey, what's up, people? This is JJ, your hip hop aficionado, your hip hop connoisseur, and you're listening to Black Culture Radio. Okay, let's get into this interview. Rising star on the scene. Queen left. Like I said, we sat down and we chopped it up. I'm going to play that for you now. I have once again on the show up and coming rising star artist all the way from Atlanta. I am speaking to Queen Left. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great today. Hope everyone is having a good time, enjoying life, and enjoying this holiday season.
Yeah, everything's good, everything's good. Okay, so how you living? Are you busy, or are you chilling at the minute?
It's a mix. I found a balance. I choose my days when I get everything done, and then I have my moments where I'm chilling. As of right now, it's a little chill, not too much, but I'm getting ready to go home to visit, so I'll be very chill in about 2 days. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, I want to go back to the beginning with you and hip hop, basically. So, where did it start for you? What kind of age and year are we talking where you kind of got into hip hop?
Well, hip hop specifically, I would say 14. I was 14. I was always into music. I come from a family that's very musical on both sides. Church is a big component of that, but hip hop specifically, um, getting involved in it, I would say 14, but like being enamored by it, actually, I would say probably 6, because that was around the time they had like the conscious rap movement with like Common and all that, and that's when I really got engulfed with it. So I would say around 8, and then getting involved with it, like me wanting to be an artist, I would say 14.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, what kind of happened at 14 that made you say, this is something I'd like to pursue, this is something I'd like to see where I can get to? Right. The thing that made me feel that way, I had got back into, when you rediscover artists when you're young, yeah, that sure. Came back then that interests you. TLC was one of those artists, and Left Eye, she stuck out to me like over everything. And I just loved who she was creatively, and how versatile she was in her raps, and the fact that they were able to incorporate deep vulnerable messages, but also have like fun tunes. Like they were able to mix that up and create records that were not just fun, but records that were powerful and that change your life. And that really influenced me, and I wanted to do the same thing. So that's when I really started to get into music and finding out who I was and who I wanted to be as an artist, or just having fun at that age, exploring my creativity, seeing really where I wanted to go with it and what I wanted to do. Sure. So it was like a big component of that. Okay, cool. So, what about your musical journey before that? What kind of sounds? I know you said there was a lot of sort of religious music. Was there anything else that you were kind of into before sort of hip hop took you, or was it just the religious music that you were around with your family? Yes, absolutely. Oh, I grew up. Thankfully, I wasn't. My parents didn't shelter us. MTV, VH1, BT was very like prominent back then. Like that was like the main events, and I would always watch the award shows. The making of the videos, the countdowns, and different things like that. So hip hop, R&B, pop were like even rock. Everything was really like had their space and had their moment, and I enjoyed it all. But mostly R&B, pop, hip hop. So that was very big in my home, and also around my friends. We would be outside as kids. We would make up dance routines to the music. Like Sean Paul was something that was an artist we would always create dances to. Destiny's Child. Uh-huh. It was very big in my home. Like music has always been like something that I lived and breathed. You know, my first love really is dancing. So of course, in order to dance, you have to have music. So that definitely helped catapult that love for music and wanted to create as an artist. And then I also like to write and express my feelings through poetry. When I was younger, I used to write little poems and, you know, trying to expand my vocabulary through that. So music, art in every aspect really influenced me to become who I am, not just as an artist, but as a person.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so apart from music and dance, is there anything outside of hip hop? Is there anything else that you like to do? Any kind of hobbies that you're trying to monetize, or business ideas, or anything like that?
Yes, I actually have a jewelry business called Cosmic Queen Collection, and I incorporate a lot of my spiritual practices within that. Another thing that I would love to do in the future is write books and then turn those books into like mini series and movies, kind of like Stephen King and R.L. Stein. Those were like my biggest influences when it came to that when I was younger, because I used to love to read their books. Mm-hmm. And I just loved like the element of horror, like kid horror, like how it was a lot of things for like young adults and teens. Yeah. And that's something that I want to bring back when it comes to film and books. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I'm really interested in doing later on down the line, and continuing my jewelry business and going with that.
Okay, cool. So getting back to the hip hop, how would you describe your style to someone who hasn't listened to Queen Left before?
I would say very versatile, introspective, vulnerable. I like to explore every realm of not just sound but emotion. Mm-hmm. Like the new music that I got coming out is very, like I said, introspective and emotional. Like I go deep. I explore my personal journey and experience from a couple of years ago, moving to Atlanta to now. Mm-hmm. So that's very prominent. Okay. And also having fun and, you know, making records about feeling good and, you know, exploring every aspect of emotion and style. I think that's beautiful as an artist when you can delve into many different dimensions but stay true to who you are.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so you're not Atlanta born and raised?
No, I'm from Rochester, New York. I moved to Atlanta in 2017. So about how many years?
Yeah, almost 6 years, yeah.
So okay. almost a decade in a couple of years. So I've been in Atlanta for a long time so far, and I love it, everything about it.
Okay, see, so do you reckon, with your creativity, do you reckon that your sort of style is a mixture of the two, or do you reckon you're more New York or more Atlanta, would you say?
Atlanta's influence is definitely seeping in. Mm-hmm. But I would definitely say that I'm more New York, because whenever I go back home, I don't have to find niche places or anything for me mm-hmm. to perform. But one thing I like about Atlanta is that it is getting more, what's the word for it? Like, it's allowing, you know, everybody to be in its space. Like, it's not like when I perform, because I'll perform at places where you would think would be weird for me to perform, but people are very inviting. Mm-hmm. They enjoy the fact that what I bring is something different. So that's I love that part about it. Yeah. The fact that it's expanding, but New York is definitely like the foundation, because, you know, lyrical ability, you know, we're all about that aspect more. And Atlanta's like a feel good, like party, like, you know, that type of music. Yeah. But I've definitely learned a lot from Atlanta being there, but New York is definitely the foundation of what my music stands for.
Okay, that's cool. So, how did you come up with the name Queen Left?
I love this question. Many different components. First, I was, you know, studying about our history and where we come from and different things like that. Mm-hmm. And found out there were a lot of queens in Egypt at the time, and I was very enamored by that. And the different things that they would do, you know, how they would run the entire empire. There were women that ran an entire empire. Mm-hmm. And I just, you know, Queen is a powerful name, so I kept up with that. And then Left is it's, you know, for various reasons. One was an ode to Left Eye, because She was the reason why I even wanted to really, really, really create music. Influenced me to be really authentic. And, I'm a lefty. It's like 10% of us, on this planet. And I found that to be unique and cool. Back then, being left-handed was considered like a curse or something like that. So, it's something that I embrace now. And also, forging my own path. When they say, everybody go right, go left, like, on my own journey, and instead of doing the status quo, I created my own path, and that path will be considered left because it's not the status quo of what's considered to be right or the American dream.
I get you, yeah. I get that. And I'm definitely feeling you on the queen thing. One of my daughters is named after an African queen as well. So yeah. Yeah, her name's Anaya. She's named after Queen Naya Bingi, who was a queen in Tanzania in the 1800s. So yeah. So I'm definitely feeling you on that one. Okay, so as it comes to your art, let's say your creativity, who are your dream collabs? I mean, I know obviously there'd be a plethora, but if you had a choice of who you could, you know, top people who you'd like to work with, in a perfect world, who would that be?
Right. I would like to work with Kendrick Lamar, like a really big influence, and I love how he's like been able to stay true to himself and create different types of music.
Sure.
Another one was right at the tip of my Solange. I would love to work with Solange. She's a big musical influence too. She's stays true to herself and just very creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another one is Billie Eilish. I was just thinking about her. I love her voice, and I like the type of music she makes. It's very cool and just very free. And she's also Sag, so it would be nice to see what I can create with her.
Yeah.
And who else? A big one that I don't know would ever happen, but it would be like a dream, because I love her so much, Janet Jackson. Like, even if I was to dance, like, somewhere next to her, like a trick or something, I would do that. Like, I would consider that a collab. I would love to work with her in some way.
Yeah, no, so, I like those answers. I think that goes into your name, Queen Left, because some of them artists are seen as sort of left. They like to call them left field, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So
I'm doing there.
I mean, especially with Kendrick. I mean, I played one of his songs on my show a few weeks ago. Where he's having an argument with the song's about him and his girlfriend having an argument. And I just think it's such an interesting idea. You know what I mean? They're really falling out in this song and swearing at each other and digging up all the little things about each other that drives them crazy, and then at the end they make up, and it's just such a great idea for a track. Right. Just something different from the norm, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So so when you're creating, do you have a process? Do you like to do things in a certain order, or is it just what comes to you? I mean, like, do you hear the track first and write something, what the track makes you feel, or do you have sort of like a rhyme book, as it were, and then you kind of tailor that to tracks that you hear afterwards?
There are multiple different ways. That's one of them, where I will listen to music and at times something will automatically come. And I love that part about it, because you let the music speak for itself. And then there's where I'll be out in nature or meditating, or when you're out and about and you're just like letting, being in the moment, things will come to you, or you're having conversations with yourself, and certain ideas or aspects of like subject matters will come, and I'll write them down, or melody, or I'll have dreams of sometimes I'll have dreams of melody or songs, and I'll record them in my phone. And sometimes I'll just go into my home studio and just meditate, and sometimes I'll play instrumental, or sometimes I'll just sit there and allow what to happen, things to happen, or write down ideas that I've had in my head and see if I could put something together. So it's many different ways, many different creative processes as to how I get songs and how I create.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we talked a little bit about what kind of led you to adopt a style and the substance of what you talk about. Is there a certain message that you're trying to bring to potential listeners, or is it just this is me? I'm multifaceted, so I'm just bringing you all of this.
That's one, but also I like the fact that you can introduce people to certain things or make them, open them up to certain things with your music. And for me, self-reflection and, self-acceptance, all the selves, I think is very important. Like in my music, I self-reflect a lot. Self-expression obviously is the whole embodiment of why we create music, but self-reflection is very big up there. Allowing yourself to see who you are authentically, in the good and the bad, and accepting all of that. And instead of hiding, shining a light and either taking accountability or being vulnerable about how you feel, those human emotions, and expressing those human emotions, and being your authentic self and evolving within who you are as a human. I feel like that's something that the people that I looked up to did. Like they shied away from that, and I'm very happy that they didn't, because not only was their music very popular, but they still broke the bar and was able to create that type of sound. But like I said earlier, have music that gets you jumping and is able to chart really well. So that's something that I take I really honor when it comes to music, is that vulnerability and being able to self-reflect. And it's very powerful to be able to change people's lives with your experience and showing them different perspectives and outlooks and how you did it. And I can encourage them to do the same thing, and can even save their lives.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I've talked about it before. I have a very eclectic taste in music.
Right.
I do a hip hop show because that's the kind of genre of music I know the most about, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
Obviously, I was, well, not obviously, but I was raised in England in a Caribbean family, so that was obviously a part of my makeup. And then when I got into music myself, I listened to everything. I listened to metal, I listened to post rock, I listened to pop, I listened to anything. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't care who it's by, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's in English or not. You know what I mean? If it's good, it's
Right.
good. Music is music, So
right.
yeah.
That's the important aspect of being an artist who is studying music, every form of music. It's
yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's beautiful, and then it expands your palette.
Sure.
And helps you grow as an artist too, because you never know what you can hear that'll inspire you, different sounds, what you may want to incorporate into your music. So it's very important for us as artists to also study and really study the greats, or and study different aspects of music and sounds.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I feel the same way. Like I say, I think that my eclecticism. I mean, plus with hip hop anyway. Obviously, hip hop is a very eclectic genre in itself, because you can take anything from any other genre of music and incorporate it into hip hop, and take hip hop and incorporate it into any other genre of music. Do you know what I mean? It's very malleable that way, and I really do like that. So
and the fact hip hop has its subgenres too. Like that's another part about hip hop that I love.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on hip hop historically? Sort of being a male-dominated hip hop genre. Do you think as a genre? Do you see it as a genre that seems to elevate female rappers who appeal to the male gaze, or do you think there's space for everybody?
I do feel like right now it's going to become a space for everybody, because I do feel as if we're in a reflective space in music, especially mainstream, where everybody's like looking at the ways in which it hasn't been beneficial, from whether it's business wise, what the mainstream is pushing, different things like that. I feel like we're looking at that aspect now, and it's slowly like diminishing. And we're going through another cycle, and that's something that we go through almost every few years when it comes to music. So I feel like it's definitely evolving. There's a lot of women out here now, and we've definitely had those conversations where it's like, okay, there's a lot of music, but women out here, but what's the conversation? Like, what type of music is being pushed when it comes to the women? And a lot of the times we talk about, oh, there's this is not being talked about, and it's just like, okay, well, the labels aren't really pushing it. We say we want it, but we really don't shine a light on the different types of women that are there, like it was in the 90s. Like we had MC Light, we had Misty, we had Little Kim, we had Left Eye, we had the Brat, we had so many different women who made so many different, Lauryn Hill, that made many different sounds and they were all successful at the same time, as opposed to now it's like the label, and I'm glad that it's dying, they're like, you have to fit this certain mold. And there were times in my career where they were trying to tell me that I have to flip certain things or change I spoke about things or dumb it down, and I was just like, I can't do that, because if I do that, what exactly is going to change? You know, no one's going to be able to really shift what's going on if everybody's doing the same thing. So I think it's important for artists to stay true to who they are, whether they're signed or not. You know, you got to fight for your music and what you want. A lot of, like I said, a lot of the people that we look up to and who are heavyweights, they did that. You know, they never allowed the label to be like, oh, this is what you have to make, and they did it. That's not how you shift. That's not how you shift things. You have to stay true to who you are and fight for what you want in your craft. And I'm happy that, you know, we're slowly seeing that happening. So yeah, I'm excited for for that to, you know, for that next shift in music, because it's definitely coming.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that. I mean, obviously, like I say, you know, I listen to a lot of hip hop. I'm older, so you know, I listen to. I was there in the '90s and all that. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen what it's kind of morphed into, and I can sit here and listen to coke bars all day, but you know what I mean. It's not my reality, but it's sometimes it's good to listen to someone else talk about it. If you know what I mean. If they do it in a way that's pleasing to the ear, do you know what I mean? Then I can listen to coke bars all day. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to live the life to listen to the music, you know.
Exactly.
But obviously, there's always people on the other side as well. People trying to, elevate people's minds and just talk about party. Like I said, there's always got to be a bit of fun as well. You know what I mean? But I think as long as you make your music compelling, then you really can talk about what you want. Do you know what I mean? I don't really have that much of a problem with some of these ladies that are out here now with not much on or whatever. Do you know what I mean? People seem to react to it really badly. I don't. You know what I mean? I kind of get what they're saying about that they're empowering themselves to do it, and it's only an image. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's I think it's all part of the same thing, to be honest. If other people outside see that and kind of have a problem with it or whatever, or see people a certain way because of it, that's their hang up. It's not the artist's hang up. If you know what I mean?
Right.
So
no, they're just being true to who they are, you know, and I think every part is important, which is why I love it back then, because everybody got to have the shine. Like, it wasn't just this certain type of thing. And also, I don't like when people talk and be like, oh, this doesn't deserve, because I'm like, the beginning of hip hop, yes, they talked about the struggle, but a lot of it was about partying. Like,
of course,
party record. Like, everything, every aspect was important. One is not more than the other. You know, it's what makes hip hop hip hop. Like, all of it is, we're multi-dimensional people. We're not supposed to be this monolith. And that's when it also becomes an issue, which is why I'm saying, like, every aspect deserves its shine, is because all of it is important. You know, I don't just want to see people talking about history or boom bap or whatever.
Civil rights.
Like, I don't want to just hear that.
All that is important, but not just that. Yeah.
Right. It's gonna get very boring. So the fact that everyone's able to make whatever they want, and like you said, as long as it sounds really good to the ear, I'm listening to it, because I love me some Meg Thee Stallion. I'll listen to Sexy Red if I like the record, but I also like Rhapsody and the girls here Whack. The different like that. I love all of it, and I embrace it all. I'm just happy that industry wise, people are like, we need to see more of the diversity.
Yeah.
As opposed to just one aspect, because that's when it's going to get boring regardless of who it is. Because if you just see this one thing and it's just like, okay, so where's everybody else? Like the 90s, it was the golden era because everybody had their lane and everybody was able to shine.
Yeah.
And that's when it was really popping. So that's what I love to see in music.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe that's part of, I mean, I know it's been a big talking point this year about the fact that hip hop hasn't really been on top of the charts this year like it has in years before. I think maybe that's part of it, because all the big companies have been kind of pushing the same thing and people are just maybe bored of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's why all the older guys, as it were, are still selling out shows. You know what I mean? Nas and Wu-Tang. They've been filling stadiums, whereas what I mean, some of these younger guys haven't been able to. I think it's because now Nas and Wu-Tang are different. You know what I mean? To to what these guys are doing now. So.
Oh, that's very true. And it's getting stale, and that's because it's a shift that's about to happen. Like, okay, that got old. Now it's time for this either to come back around or something new. And that's another thing I love about hip hop, is that they have their cycles where that's a big part of the thing. That's the big thing.
Something comes back, but it's still new. Do you know what I mean? They find a new way of doing something that was there before, which is, you know what I mean, hip hop is so inventive in that way. I think that's why I love it. I think that's why you love it. I think that's why a lot of people still love it. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so what do you have coming up? Is there anything that we should be looking out for?
Yes, tomorrow I'm dropping another 16. I got 5 left of the 16s in dedication to hip hop. I'm dropping that tomorrow, and I'm finishing up my EP, and that should be dropping in March. But the first single will more than likely be dropping mid-January. So be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited because I think I found, I don't think I know I found myself as an artist, and that's like the most beautiful thing when you have that confidence to, not just experiment and be like, let me see, what's my sound and like where I not necessarily fit, but like having that security of I'm confident doing this, like this is what I'm doing right here. And as opposed to when I first started, I didn't really know how to create a concept project or like really know what I wanted to talk about, or it was true to who I was at the moment, but now it's more personable, and I love that aspect of it. So I'm excited about everything that's about to come, but make sure you guys check out the Soulful 16s that I've been dropping, and like I said, the new one will be coming tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I've been checking them out, the different excuse me, the 50 years of hip hop little rhymes that you've been dropping. I've been checking them out, man. Yeah. So talking about that, why don't you just tell people where they can find you?
You can find me on all platforms: Instagram, Queen Left, YouTube, Queen Left Universe, Twitter, Miss Queen Left. I have a website, queenleftmusic.com. My music is on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, any platform you can find me on.
Okay.
Queen LEFT.
Okay, and yeah, you can drop a little thing for the jewelry as well. Where can people find that if they want to check that out?
My jewelry is also on my site. It's under the shopping tab, so queenleftmusic.com/shop, and also I have an Instagram, a Cosmic Queen Collection. You can look me up there and follow me and DM or make an order online. If you want any customs for the holidays, I'm all open.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so is there anyone that you want to shout out? Is there anyone that you want to thank, or just, shout at your people? Just, let them know.
I want to shout out Chrissy Tucker. That's my girl. She is very helpful when it comes to the music, finding me people to work with. When it comes to ideas, even, she's a videographer and she does photography, so she helps me out when it comes to that and the concepts and make sure everything looks great. Bianca is another big help. She helps me in aspects of music too. Whatever I need something, she's always there and helping me get into different spaces, whether it's performances, podcasts, playlists, different things like that. So I really appreciate her. Also Impact, he's the one that helped me create these videos for the 16s. He was very quick with his turnaround because, sometimes, you work with people who aren't that, serious in their craft, and you have to wait. With him, I didn't have to do any of that. And I really appreciate him for sticking it out with me recording these, because we was in the hot heat recording some of these. We had time limits at certain spaces where we had to really get it going. So those are 3 of the people that I would love to shout out as of right now.
All right, that's cool. So yeah, as Queen Left said, she's streaming everywhere. Music is streaming everywhere. It's dope, of course, and all the social media platforms she's on there. Just check Queen Left, and you can find her wherever you go. So Queen Left, thank you for your time.
Thank you for yours, and allow me on your platform.
Thank you very much. Yes. That was my chat with Queen Left. I think you'd agree that was a very interesting conversation. It was good to speak to a female artist in this game about, what it's like being in the game. Like I said, we all know it's been very male dominated for a very long time. So it's nice to hear from a female MC making her way in the business, and seems like she's having a very good time doing it, which is great, which is good. So yeah, like she said, check her out. She's on all social media platforms, and the music is streaming everywhere. It is dope. It's worth checking out. She's been doing a lot of, for 50 years of hip hop, she's been dropping a lot of freestyles on classic beats. Check them out and check her original music out too. As I always do, I am going to play a track that highlights why I like them. This track I love from her. It's called Never Die on My Knees.
I'll never die on my knees because I'm begging, Lord, please to help. But I'm having doubts you are even here with me, and that's real. And that's real. Faith is real, but not in the means of religion. And how could I die on my knees if I'm higher than the ceiling? That's real. Hey, and that's real. Yep, but it's all about perception. This song is a eulogy to a love lost that's nothing new to me. Pour the liquor over fable words of mystery. I do believe, but things I cannot see, I'm questioning. Where are you now? I feel a presence, but is it true? The realest things is what is hidden in plain view. I pray, but how could it be her with your million requests? Cause when I lost you, that's when I found myself waiting on a personal revival. I ran away from darkness cause the light kept me blind, y'all. An oxymoron and a contradiction combined it. Why judge me? Who says I can't be a little doubtful? The light allowed you to hide away from your truths. And sometimes the light can hold some darkness too. It allows you to get trapped and hit in actualities, lacking direction to face these false realities. I'll never die on my knees because I'm begging, Lord, please to help. But I'm having doubts you are even here with me, and that's real. And that's real. Faith is real, but not in the means of religion. And how could I die on my knees if I'm higher than the ceiling? That's real. Hey, and that's real. Yep, but it's all about perception. Not everyone can hear what you hear until you realize that what you say will fall on deaf ears. Temper spirits, false deliverance, questioning religion. Cause in every way, I felt like I was being bounded. Bound in a fiery furnace of mistakes, forgetting repentance. Being told if I did this, that hell is where I'd be sent. Fear was such a driving stick and it motioned me to a ditch. Abandon that current stick for a larger ship. And I'm going places to find a land to exist. Didn't want that energy to find me, so I let it go. Even though already I feel religion is a masquerade of his story, one perception. A ghostwriter put in the heart of a misguided crook who wouldn't give a damn if your name was in that book. Searching for completion in a being we all mirroring. If I'm a reflection of God, then what that make me? Him?
We are Black Culture Radio. We are Black Culture Radio. We are Black Culture Radio.